The twin suns of Xylar were sinking behind jagged mountain peaks, spilling red and gold light over the sprawling city below. Hovercrafts hummed softly above the streets, carrying citizens to evening gatherings, while banners displaying the symbol of the warrior Princess Xylara fluttered in the wind. The city was alive with excitement. Rumors had spread. Human explorers had arrived in the system. A species long thought primitive, frail, and unremarkable. Xylara stood on the balcony of her palace, her tall, lithe frame outlined against the glowing sky. Her eyes, a piercing shade of violet, scanned the horizon, sharp and calculating. She was known across galaxies not only for her unmatched combat skills, but also for her pride. To her, no one, no alien, and certainly no human was worthy of challenging her. Yet now one dared. Human? Xylara's voice echoed softly, almost to herself, as though the word itself was amusing. They cannot even endure the harsh climates of their own world. How could one survive here, let alone challenge me? Her advisors hovered nearby, nervous yet curious. Xylara's reputation was legendary, and no one had ever seen her beaten. The Council of Elders, dressed in ceremonial robes, exchanged uneasy glances. "The human vessel is orbiting the planet, Princess," said Commander Vaylor, a tall alien with metallic blue skin and 4 eyes. "They have requested a meeting, and have specifically asked for you." Xylara raised an eyebrow, a smirk forming on her lips. "They request me? Interesting. Very well. Prepare the arena. I will show them why no one can stand against me." Across the city, a sleek human ship descended from orbit, its polished silver hull gleaming in the twin suns. Inside, Captain Alex Mercer sat in the pilot's chair, hands resting calmly on the controls. He was human, of course, but his expression held neither fear nor arrogance, only calm determination. "Status report," Alex said, his voice steady, carrying a quiet confidence that came from years of training and experience. "Planet Xylar is heavily populated and technologically advanced." "Sir," replied Lieutenant Mira, his second in command, a sharp-minded human who had been with him through countless missions. "Sensors indicate strong energy fields around the central city. We may encounter resistance if we attempt a landing outside official channels." Alex leaned back in his chair, eyes narrowing slightly as he studied the holographic map projected before him. "Resistance or not, we are here to meet the alien leadership. Keep our approach calm and non-threatening. This is not a battle mission, not yet." The ship's engines hummed softly as it descended into the heart of Xylar's capital. Citizens on the streets looked up in awe at the human vessel, whispering to each other. Many had never seen humans before. To them, the newcomers were fragile, strange creatures who could never survive. In combat against the likes of Princess Xylara, the arena was prepared. Within the palace grounds, a vast structure of polished metal and energy fields that shimmered like liquid crystal. The crowd was immense. Aliens of every shape and size gathered, eager to witness what they expected to be an easy display of dominance. Xylara entered the arena, her movements graceful and precise, each step commanding attention. The sunlight glinted off her armor, designed not only for protection but to emphasize her agility and power. Her long violet hair flowed behind her like a living banner. She held her weapon loosely in her hand, a slender, energy-infused blade capable of slicing through almost any known material. The crowd erupted in cheers. "The warrior princess, the undefeated. Show them your might." And then the human stepped forward. Alex Mercer. The arena grew silent. The aliens had expected hesitation, fear, or at least awe. Instead, the human walked calmly, shoulders squared, eyes focused. His presence was simple, unadorned. No armor, no weaponry beyond a basic energy sidearm strapped to his hip. He seemed ordinary. Xylara's violet eyes narrowed. She could feel the confidence radiating from him, a calm certainty that seemed almost impossible. And yet, there was no trace of fear. "You are the human who wishes to challenge me?" Xylara's voice rang across the arena, clear and commanding. "Do you not know who I am? Do you not understand that no one, no being in the galaxy can last a minute against me?" Alex's lips curved into a small, respectful smile. "I know exactly who you are, Princess Xylara, and I also know why you are here and why I am here. I am ready." A murmur spread through the crowd. Some aliens laughed nervously. Others looked skeptical. How could such a frail-looking being even survive a duel against the legendary warrior princess? Xylara tilted her head, intrigued. "You are bold, or foolish, very well. Let us begin." The rules of the duel were simple. It was to be one-on-one. No interference from allies. Weapons and skills were permitted, but no lethal intent. Zalara wanted to test, not destroy. The arena itself was designed to be dynamic, with shifting platforms, energy traps, and environmental hazards to challenge the combatants. The duel began with a subtle signal. Zalara lunged first, her movements a blur. Her blade whipped through the air, leaving streaks of violet energy behind. The crowd gasped at her speed. Few could even see the trajectory of her strikes. Alex did not flinch. He ducked, rolled, and sidestepped with an agility that surprised the spectators. His movements were precise, economical, and human, but with an unexpected rhythm that seemed to anticipate Zylara's every strike. She attacked again, faster and more aggressively. "Pathetic," she hissed. "You cannot even keep up." And yet Alex moved. Not with superhuman strength, not with alien agility, but with calm awareness and quick thinking. He used the arena itself, sliding along walls, avoiding energy traps, and using them to reposition himself. The crowd was stunned. How is he still moving?" whispered a young alien spectator, eyes wide. No human could survive that. Zylara's expression shifted from amusement to curiosity. This human was different. Not faster, not stronger, but clever, adaptable, and unyielding. Every strike she made was met with an unexpected counter, a dodge, or a clever use of the environment. Minutes passed. The sun continued to sink, casting longer shadows across the arena. Sweat gleamed on Zylara's brow, not from exertion alone, but from fascination. She had never seen a being endure her attacks with such calmness. Alex, too, felt strain, but he focused on observation. Every movement, every rhythm of Zylara's strikes was being logged, studied, and learned. He was not trying to overpower her. He was surviving, understanding, and adapting. At one point, Zylara created a spinning energy vortex, hoping to trap him. Alex leapt, barely avoiding the edge of the vortex, and rolled to a safe distance. The crowd cheered, unsure whether they were witnessing human genius or luck. Zylara's violet eyes narrowed. "Interesting. You are not afraid. Most would be crushed under my first strike. Most would beg for mercy." Alex met her gaze steadily. "Fear is not what keeps me alive. Awareness and action do." For a moment, the arena was silent, as though even the wind paused to listen. Zalara could feel the truth in his words. Humans were not the weakest beings in the galaxy. They were unpredictable, resourceful, determined. The first part of the duel ended with no clear victor, but the tone had shifted. Zylara, the undefeated warrior princess, found herself respecting, if not yet fully acknowledging, the capabilities of a human. She had expected an easy victory. Instead, she had encountered resilience, intelligence, and a courage that challenged her assumptions. As the crowd dispersed for the evening, whispering among themselves about the human's unexpected abilities, Zylara remained in the arena. She stood alone, her blade lowered but her mind racing. This human was not simply surviving, he was learning, adapting, and proving that even the mightiest alien could not dismiss the ingenuity of humanity. And for the first time in her life, Zylara felt a spark of excitement rather than certainty. This duel was far from over. The night on Zylar was quiet, yet the city seemed to hum with the memory of what had just occurred in the arena. The citizens whispered in hushed tones about the human who had survived the warrior princess's strikes. Some doubted it, some refused to believe it, and some simply wondered what made this fragile being so extraordinary. Meanwhile, in the palace, Princess Zylara sat in her private chambers. She had discarded her armor, but her violet eyes still burned with curiosity. She traced the outline of her energy blade, her mind replaying every moment of the duel. "How is it possible?" she muttered. No human should have survived, and yet he moved with purpose, with precision. Not fear, not desperation, purpose. Commander Vaylor entered quietly, bowing before her. "Princess, the human has requested a continuation of the duel. He wishes to engage again at dawn in the same arena." Zylara raised an eyebrow. "He requests it? Bold or foolish, but I admit I am intrigued. Very well. Dawn it is." As the first light of Zylar's twin suns began to pierce the horizon, the arena was prepared once again. Energy fields flickered in turquoise and gold, and the shifting platforms hummed softly as they adjusted for the duel. Zylara entered first, her presence commanding attention as always. She wore lighter armor today, allowing for greater mobility. Her energy blade pulsed with a soft violet glow, ready for combat. Alex Mercer stepped onto the platform shortly after. His expression was calm, almost serene, as though he were walking into a familiar training ground rather than facing an alien warrior renowned for her unmatched skill. His uniform was simple, his energy sidearm at his hip, and his eyes were focused, scanning the arena for strategy rather than danger. The audience erupted again as both figures faced each other. Unlike the previous duel, anticipation hung thick in the air. No one doubted Xylara's skill, but now questions about the human's abilities had begun to circulate. "Human," Xylara called, her voice carrying across the arena. "Prepare yourself. I will not hold back this time. Do not think I am merciful." Alex inclined his head slightly. "I do not expect mercy. I expect a fair challenge." The duel began with a sudden burst of motion. Xylara launched herself forward with astonishing speed, her blade cutting through the air in a streak of violet light. Alex dodged and rolled, narrowly avoiding a strike that could have cleaved him in half. But this time Xylara was testing him. She used a series of complex maneuvers, combining spins, jumps, and rapid strikes designed to overwhelm. Many of the alien spectators leaned forward, eager to see the human fail. Yet Alex moved differently than before. He was not relying on brute force or agility alone. Instead, he used timing, prediction, and spatial awareness. Every movement he made seemed deliberate, calculated to survive while learning. He watched Xylara's rhythm, her pauses, her shifts in weight, and he adapted. At one point, Xylara launched a spinning energy blade from her wrist gauntlet, aiming for Alex's left side. He ducked, letting it pass overhead, then grabbed a small energy panel from the arena floor and used it as a shield to block a follow-up strike. The crowd gasped. No human had ever thought to use the environment with such skill. Xylara's eyes narrowed, a hint of respect entering her expression. "Interesting. You learn quickly. Most of my opponents are predictable after the first few strikes. You are not." Alex did not respond verbally. His focus was total. Every strike, every motion of Xylara's body was being analyzed. He began to anticipate her attacks more accurately, not through supernatural speed, but through careful observation and quick decision-making. The duel escalated. Xylara's attacks grew more complex, incorporating energy pulses, short-range telekinetic pushes, and rapid dashes across the platforms. Alex used each obstacle, each moving platform to his advantage. He rolled under energy pulses, climbed walls to evade, and even used his own weight to counterbalance the shifting terrain. The audience was captivated. Aliens who had once mocked humans now watched in awe. This human was surviving, learning and adapting, not with alien strength but with human ingenuity. As the duel progressed, a new element was introduced. Xylara activated the arena's environmental hazards, spinning blades, plasma jets, and sudden gravity shifts. Most challengers would have been disoriented instantly. Alex paused for a fraction of a second, analyzing the new threat. He noticed the rhythm of the plasma jets and the timing of the spinning blades. Using precise jumps, rolls, and even grabbing onto the walls, he navigated the hazards with astonishing efficiency. He moved like a dancer in a deadly ballet, blending observation with quick reactions. Xylara's attacks continued relentlessly. She combined strength and speed, launching energy blasts and strikes simultaneously. Alex barely avoided each one, but with each evasion he gained a better understanding of her style. "You are adaptable," Xylara admitted aloud almost reluctantly. "Few can last this long against me." Alex finally spoke. "I don't have to be faster or stronger than you. I just have to be smarter." Xylara's eyes flashed with curiosity. "Smart, many call me clever. Many have strategies, and yet they all fail." Alex's lips curved in a small smile. Perhaps they failed because they expected brute force to always win. Some battles are won with thinking, not only with strength. Minutes turned into hours. The duel became more than a simple test of combat. It evolved into a mental chess game. Xylara realized that Alex was studying her as much as she was testing him. Every feint she made, every trick she used, he observed, adapted to, and sometimes even predicted. At one point, Xylara launched a series of rapid strikes combined with telekinetic pushes, attempting to push Alex off the arena platforms. He barely managed to leap and land safely, using the energy sidearm not to attack but as a counterweight to balance himself mid-air. The crowd gasped again. Xylara's mind raced. No human should survive this long, yet he does. Not through luck, not through alien enhancements, but through something else. Determination? Ingenuity? Something unique. She paused, breathing slightly heavier than usual. For the first time, she realized that the human survival was not a fluke. It was skill, awareness, and courage combined in ways she had never seen. Meanwhile, Alex's focus never wavered. He felt the strain in his muscles and the heat of the sun rising over the arena, but he never panicked. Each movement was deliberate, each decision calculated. He began to see patterns in Zalara's attacks, a slight hesitation before a dash, a rhythm in the swings of her blade. Using this knowledge, he countered one of her strongest attacks. As Zalara lunged with a spinning strike aimed directly at him, Alex timed his jump perfectly, landing behind her and lightly tapping her shoulder with the back of his hand. Not to harm, but to demonstrate he had closed the gap. The crowd erupted into whispers. The human touched her without being cut down. Some aliens gasped. Others stared in awe. Zalara turned surprised and felt a strange emotion, respect mixed with disbelief. By mid-morning, both combatants paused. Neither was hurt seriously, but both were breathing heavier, muscles aching. Zalara lowered her blade slightly, studying Alex carefully. "You are not what I expected," she said, her voice quiet but firm. Most would have been crushed, terrified, or defeated by now. "You are different," Alex nodded, still calm. "I know what I'm facing. I know what I can do. And I know that giving up is not an option." Zalara's eyes narrowed, but this time in thought rather than anger. She realized something profound. Humans were not to be dismissed as weak. They had resilience, intelligence, and adaptability that could challenge even the strongest warriors in the galaxy. As the first full clash ended, the audience was left in awe, buzzing with excitement and disbelief. The duel was far from over, but one thing was clear. The human had changed the way they would view their world forever. Zalara stepped back from the arena, lowering her blade entirely. For the first time in her life, she felt curiosity and anticipation rather than certainty. This human was not just surviving. He was teaching her something new about combat, strategy, and the strength of the human spirit. Alex, too, stood quietly, breathing evenly. He had not yet won, and he had not yet faced Zalara's full power. But he had proven one undeniable truth. Humans could endure, adapt, and challenge the seemingly impossible. The duel would continue. And when it did, both combatants would discover that the clash was not just physical. It was a battle of wits, courage, and determination, a true test of human ingenuity against alien perfection. The arena had cooled under the twin suns of Xylar, but the echoes of the first two clashes still vibrated in the minds of those who had watched. Alien spectators whispered among themselves, their conversations a mixture of admiration, fear, and disbelief. How could one human endure attacks from the legendary warrior princess? Princess Zalara walked to the center of the arena. Her violet eyes, sharp and calculating, glimmered with both curiosity and challenge. The duel had not ended. It had merely reached a turning point. Today she intended to push the human further, to see if he could truly adapt to her full strength. Captain Alex Mercer stepped onto the arena floor, calm as ever. Despite the exertion from the previous encounters, his posture was straight, his gaze steady. He scanned the arena quickly, noting the shifting platforms, the energy traps, and the sun's glare that could momentarily blind him. Each obstacle was a tool, a potential advantage if used wisely. Zylara's voice rang across the arena. "Human, you have survived longer than expected. But now I will not hold back. I will test the limits of your endurance and your mind. Prepare yourself." Alex nodded, almost respectfully. "I am ready." The duel began with a sudden violent burst. Zalara's movements were faster than before, combining multiple strikes at once. Her energy blade traced arcs of violet light through the air, accompanied by telekinetic pulses that could push or pull her opponent off balance. Alex moved, dodging and weaving with remarkable precision. He didn't rely on raw strength. Instead, he relied on awareness and anticipation. He noticed patterns in her attacks. The way she slightly tilted her shoulder before a dash, the subtle shift of her weight before a swing. Humans were not physically superior, but their brains had the capacity to learn quickly, adapt instantly, and think several moves ahead. The first strike came at his left side, a sweeping arc of energy that could have cleaved through his torso. Alex ducked and rolled, landing behind a platform. Using the momentum, he kicked off the wall and slid to another safe position. Zylara's violet eyes followed him, impressed. "You adapt quickly," she admitted aloud. "Most opponents crumble within moments, yet you continue." Alex smiled faintly, his eyes never leaving hers. "Adaptation is survival." Zylara grew more aggressive. She summoned spinning energy orbs, sending them rolling toward Alex while simultaneously attacking with her blade. The platform shifted suddenly, testing his balance. Most beings would have panicked, but Alex remained focused. He leapt, rolled, and ducked in sync with the shifting hazards. He even used one of the energy orbs as a springboard to reach higher ground, something no one else would have attempted. The spectators gasped, whispering in amazement. Humans, they realized, were not weak. They were clever and resourceful, capable of turning danger into advantage. Zylara's strikes came faster now, a continuous storm of attacks designed to break him. But Alex was learning in real time, reading her movements, anticipating feints, and even predicting the timing of her energy pulses. Each dodge, each counter demonstrated his ingenuity. At one point, Zylara lunged with a spinning strike while simultaneously using telekinesis to pull him toward her. Alex leapt, spinning in midair, and used the edge of a platform to redirect his momentum. He landed behind her, briefly out of reach, and used his energy sidearm, not to attack, but to trigger one of the arena's mechanisms. A small platform rose between them, blocking her follow-up strike. The crowd erupted in astonishment. No human had ever shown such creativity in the middle of a duel. Zylara's eyes narrowed, her mind racing. Minutes passed, sweat glistened on her brow, and she realized something profound. This human did not possess her speed, strength, or alien enhancements. Yet he survived, not through luck, but through intelligence, creativity, and courage. She decided to escalate further. With a gesture, she activated the arena's plasma hazard field. Jets of hot energy spouted from the floor in unpredictable patterns. The platform shifted even faster, some tilting dangerously, others rising or falling abruptly. Most combatants would have been knocked off balance immediately. Alex paused, taking a fraction of a second to analyze the new pattern. He observed the rhythm of the plasma jets, the speed of the platform movements, and the timing of Zylara's strikes. Then he acted. With precise timing, he leapt from platform to platform, using walls and edges to redirect himself safely. He dodged the plasma jets, rolled under sweeping strikes, and even used one of the rising platforms as a shield momentarily against an energy pulse. The crowd was on their feet, murmuring in awe. This was no longer a simple duel. It was a display of human ingenuity, resilience, and strategic thinking. Zylara herself felt a flicker of something unfamiliar. Respect, curiosity, intrigue. "You are different," she admitted aloud. "Most opponents rely solely on strength or speed. You rely on something else. Thinking, awareness, strategy." Alex's response was calm but confident. "Strength alone does not win battles. Observation, adaptation, and courage matter more than you might expect." The duel intensified. Zylara's attacks grew more complex and unpredictable. She combined aerial strikes, rapid blade spins, telekinetic pushes, and environmental hazards in ways designed to overwhelm. Many times, Alex found himself narrowly avoiding contact, his movements precise but calculated. He even began using small tricks of his own. A reflective panel diverted a beam of energy, temporarily blinding her for a split second. A loose piece of machinery distracted her, causing her to misstep. Each clever maneuver allowed him to survive longer and observe more about her fighting style. Zylara, now breathing more heavily than before, realized that Alex was not just enduring, he was learning. Each of his movements showed that he was analyzing patterns, exploiting small weaknesses, and staying calm under pressure. Humans, she now understood, possessed a unique combination of courage, intelligence, and creativity that could challenge even the strongest alien warriors. For the first time, she felt uncertainty, not fear, but a recognition that victory was not guaranteed. This human could survive, adapt, and even counter in ways she had not anticipated. As the battle continued, a critical moment arrived. Zylara, overconfident in her approach, lunged with a powerful strike aimed to finish the duel. Alex, noticing a slight imbalance in her stance, acted. Using his knowledge of the arena, he leapt, rolled, and used the energy sidearm to activate a moving platform. The platform rose between them, deflecting her strike and giving him just enough space to counter. He did not attack, but his calm presence behind her startled her. Zylara paused, sensing that this human was not merely surviving. He was matching her in creativity and determination. "You are remarkable," she admitted, lowering her blade slightly. "Few beings in the galaxy can endure what you have." Alex nodded, his breathing steady. "I do not need to match your strength. I only need to survive, adapt, and learn. That is enough." The arena grew quiet. The spectators, once certain of Zylara's victory, now whispered in awe. Humans were no longer seen as weak. They were beings of courage, intelligence, and ingenuity. By the end of the duel, both combatants were exhausted, yet neither had been seriously harmed. Zylara stepped back, lowering her blade completely. She looked at Alex with a mixture of admiration and curiosity. "You have survived against me longer than anyone ever has," she said. "You have not only endured, you have adapted, observed, and even countered. This is impressive." Alex, still calm, nodded. "I am not here to prove weakness or to boast. I am here to show that humans are capable of enduring, adapting, and facing challenges, even those that seem impossible." Zylara's expression softened slightly. She had learned something valuable. Victory was not just about strength, speed, or skill. It was about creativity, courage, and intelligence. And humans, she realized, possessed these qualities in ways no one had truly understood. The duel ended for now, but the battle was far from over. Both Zylara and Alex knew that future encounters would test them even more, physically, mentally, and strategically. And both felt a new kind of anticipation, one that went beyond pride or reputation. For Zylara, it was a challenge unlike any she had faced before. For Alex, it was an opportunity to show the galaxy what humans were truly capable of. The stage was set. The duel would continue, and the lessons learned today would shape the battles of tomorrow. The next day, the arena was transformed. No longer a simple platform with shifting panels, it had become a living, dangerous environment. The designers had incorporated extreme gravity zones, plasma storms, and moving obstacles meant to challenge even the most skilled combatants. Zylara had insisted on pushing Alex to his limits, and the human captain understood that survival here would require not just agility, but ingenuity. From above, the twin suns cast harsh light across the arena, creating long shifting shadows. Alex studied the arena carefully, noting the rising columns of plasma, the floating platforms, and the unpredictable gravity wells that threatened to throw him off balance. Every step would need to be deliberate, every move calculated. Zylara appeared on the opposite side of the arena, her violet eyes sharp and focused. Her armor glinted under the suns, energy coursing along her blade. The air seemed to crackle around her, a reflection of the power she commanded. Today she was determined not to hold back. "You have survived the first clashes," she said, her voice ringing through the arena. "But today, I will test the full extent of your skills, human. No tricks, no hesitation. Show me what you are truly capable of." Alex's expression was calm. "I am ready." As the duel began, Zylara moved like a storm unleashed. Her strikes were faster, more precise, and layered with telekinetic pushes and pulls that could send a smaller being flying across the arena. Plasma jets erupted from the floor in unpredictable patterns, forcing Alex to adjust his timing constantly. He did not panic. Instead, he analyzed. Every motion, every pulse of energy, every pattern in Zylara's attacks was logged in his mind. He ducked under a strike that could have severed his leg, rolled across a shifting platform, and grabbed onto a floating edge to redirect his momentum. Each action was precise, deliberate, and clever. The spectators watched in awe. No human, or indeed any being without alien enhancements, had ever demonstrated such composure and adaptability in these conditions. Zylara, too, was observing. She noticed that Alex was not just reacting. He was anticipating, predicting, and turning the arena itself into a tool. She had underestimated the creativity and determination of humans. The battle escalated further. Zylara combined multiple attacks at once, energy strikes from her blade, telekinetic pushes, and sudden bursts of speed designed to overwhelm Alex. At one moment, she lunged from above, aiming to land a strike on his shoulder. Alex twisted midair, using the motion to slide down a tilted platform. He landed behind a rising energy column, using it as a temporary shield. Then, with quick thinking, He kicked off the column, launching himself toward a floating panel that carried him out of the immediate danger zone. From the crowd, whispers of disbelief spread like wildfire. Humans, they realized, could survive through intelligence and strategy, not just brute strength or alien enhancements. Xylara's expression shifted, from determination to curiosity. This human was different. He could think, adapt, and survive in ways she had never encountered. Minutes passed. The sun rose higher, reflecting off the plasma storms, making visibility difficult. Xylara attacked with renewed ferocity. Each strike was designed to test both Alex's endurance and his creativity. But he remained calm, using every trick he had learned. At one point, he noticed a small structural weakness in one of the floating platforms. Timing his jump perfectly, he used the platform as a springboard to redirect an incoming energy pulse, sending it toward a malfunctioning plasma jet. The redirected energy caused a controlled explosion that temporarily disrupted Xylara's rhythm. The crowd erupted. Alien and human spectators alike were stunned. The human had not only survived, he had used the environment creatively to gain an advantage. Xylara's violet eyes narrowed. Impressive. But can you sustain this? Alex landed lightly, catching his breath. I don't need to be stronger. I only need to be smarter. The arena shifted again. A gravity well activated beneath Xylara, pulling her downward faster than she expected. Alex seized the moment. Using the altered gravity, he launched himself toward her, but instead of attacking, he nudged a floating panel between them. Xylara's strike glanced off the panel harmlessly. Clever, she muttered, a slight smile forming. You are not just surviving, you are turning my attacks into tools. Alex's calm demeanor never wavered. Adaptation is survival, he said simply. The duel became less about raw power and more about ingenuity. Xylara realized that she could not rely on speed or strength alone. Alex's ability to think under pressure, to use the environment, and to anticipate attacks made him a formidable opponent. At one critical moment, Xylara attempted her most powerful attack. A combination of telekinetic force and a spinning blade strike aimed directly at Alex. The spectators gasped. This was a move that had ended countless challengers. Alex froze for a split second, analyzing her movements. Then, with precise timing, he used a combination of rolling, jumping, and a carefully placed energy panel to redirect the attack harmlessly. He landed safely behind her, a small distance away, breathing steadily. The crowd erupted into astonished applause. No human or any being without alien enhancements had ever survived such an attack. Xylara's expression softened, showing a rare moment of respect. This human had survived what no one else could. He had adapted, thought, and executed perfectly under pressure. You are exceptional, she admitted aloud. Your courage and ingenuity are unlike anything I have seen. Alex nodded, eyes steady. I am not here to boast. I am here to show that humans are capable of enduring, adapting, and overcoming challenges, even those that seem impossible. The duel continued for hours. Xylara introduced more hazards, spinning energy blades, plasma geysers, and sudden gravity shifts that threatened to throw Alex off balance. Each time he survived by thinking quickly, observing patterns, and using the environment creatively. Xylara herself began to feel admiration rather than frustration. She had expected to defeat the human quickly, but now she realized that raw power was not enough. Humans had qualities that made them unpredictable, resourceful, and remarkably resilient. The audience, too, had begun to see humans in a new light. They were not weak or primitive. They were clever, adaptable, and capable of surviving extreme challenges. As the sun approached its zenith, a moment came when Xylara overcommitted to an attack. Launching herself with a powerful strike aimed to finish the duel, Alex, noticing her slight imbalance, acted. He used a combination of rolling, springboarding off platforms, and leveraging a moving panel to evade the strike. For the first time, Xylara paused mid-attack. The human had not only survived, he had countered the situation using his own creativity. She realized that defeating him would require more than strength. It would require strategy, adaptability, and respect for his ingenuity. You have changed my perspective, she admitted softly. Humans are not what I expected. They are remarkable. Alex, still steady and calm, nodded. We endure, we adapt, we face challenges. That is what makes us strong. By the end of the day, both combatants were exhausted but unbroken. The duel had transformed from a simple test of strength into a true battle of minds, strategy, and courage. Zalara stepped back, lowering her blade completely. "You have survived against me in ways no one else could," she said. "Your courage, intelligence, and adaptability are impressive. I underestimated humans. I see now that they are capable of far more than I imagined." Alex remained calm, standing tall despite fatigue. "I do not seek to prove weakness or to boast. I only seek to show what humans are capable of when faced with challenges." For Zalara, a new respect had formed. This duel had taught her that strength alone did not guarantee victory. Courage, ingenuity, and adaptability could match, even surpass, physical power. The duel would continue. But today, the human had shown that even in a universe of powerful beings, the human spirit was extraordinary. As the arena emptied and the spectators left, both Zalara and Alex reflected on the day's events. Zalara realized that victory would not be simple, and Alex knew that survival required constant ingenuity. But one truth had been firmly established. Humans were beings of exceptional courage, adaptability, and intelligence, and they would not be underestimated again. The stage was set for the final duel, where both would discover the true limits of skill, strategy, and human potential. The arena had never looked more imposing. After days of duels, the organizers had transformed it into a near labyrinth of shifting platforms, high-energy barriers, plasma geysers, and gravity distortions. This was not merely a place for combat. It was a proving ground, a test designed to push the limits of body, mind, and spirit. Princess Zalara appeared first, her violet eyes gleaming with intensity. Her blade shimmered with concentrated energy, and her stance radiated both power and confidence. Today she intended to fight without restraint. The previous duels had tested human resilience, but this final clash would truly determine whether Alex Mercer was capable of surviving against the galaxy's most formidable warrior. Alex stepped forward, calm and composed, as if the arena were simply another training field. He had studied the previous battles, learned patterns in Zylara's attacks, and mentally prepared for every hazard. His human mind, sharp and adaptable, had turned observation into strategy. Today it would turn strategy into opportunity. Zylara's voice rang out across the arena. "Human, this is the final challenge. Survive or be defeated. Show me what you are truly capable of." Alex nodded. "I will do my best." The duel began instantly, a blur of motion and energy. Zalara lunged with her blade in a series of rapid, precise strikes, accompanied by telekinetic pushes designed to throw Alex off balance. He moved with awareness, dodging, rolling, and leaping across platforms. His movements were not faster than hers, nor stronger. They were deliberate, strategic, and adaptive. The spectators, both alien and human, watched in awe. No one had ever seen a human withstand such relentless attacks with such composure. Zalara escalated her assault. Plasma jets erupted from the floor. Spinning energy blades swooped across corridors, and sections of the arena tilted under high gravity. Most beings would have been overwhelmed, but Alex thrived in the chaos. Every hazard became a tool, every pattern an opportunity. At one point, Zalara created a plasma whirlwind aimed to trap Alex. With split-second thinking, he redirected the airflow using a floating panel, creating a momentary safe zone to escape. The crowd gasped. Humans, it seemed, were capable of more than mere endurance. They could adapt creatively to extreme danger. Zalara noticed something remarkable. Alex was not just surviving. He was learning. Each of her attacks that had once been lethal was now being countered or avoided in ways that demonstrated anticipation and understanding. She tilted her head slightly, curiosity overtaking pride. "You are extraordinary," she muttered. "Most beings fall after one or two attacks. You endure and counter. How can a human achieve such skill?" Alex did not pause. "It is not about strength. It is about observation, adaptation, and courage. That is how humans survive and thrive." Zylara's eyes narrowed. She had underestimated humans, and now she realized that they were not a species to be dismissed lightly. Their courage, ingenuity, and resilience allowed them to face dangers that even the strongest aliens might avoid. The duel intensified. Zalara attacked with a combination of energy strikes, telekinetic pushes, and high-speed dashes across the shifting platforms. Alex responded with precision. He used the hazards to his advantage, A rising plasma column became a springboard. A moving platform acted as a temporary shield. Energy pulses were redirected with careful timing. At one point, Xylara attempted a spin attack aimed to knock him off a high platform. Alex anticipated her motion, jumped, twisted in midair, and landed on a floating edge behind her. He did not attack. He simply demonstrated that he had turned her strength into an advantage. The audience was silent, then erupted into cheers. No human had ever performed such feats in front of alien spectators. Xylara felt a flicker of pride for the human before her. "You are not just surviving," she admitted. "You are using the arena as a tool. You are turning my attacks into advantages. That is impressive." Alex's calm smile never wavered. "I am not here to impress. I am here to endure and adapt. That is what humans do." Xylara realized that the duel was no longer about victory or defeat. It had become a test of intellect, strategy, and determination. She had assumed that physical superiority would guarantee triumph. Instead, she faced a being who could think, predict, and adapt in ways no alien could anticipate. The sun reached its zenith, casting harsh light across the arena and reflecting off plasma hazards. Xylara made her most daring move yet. A combination of telekinetic thrusts and spinning blade strikes aimed to overwhelm Alex from multiple directions simultaneously. Alex analyzed her movement, noting the rhythm and trajectory. With precise timing, he ducked, rolled, and redirected one of her energy strikes using a metallic panel. He used the momentum to launch himself toward higher ground, evading her subsequent attacks and landing safely behind her. Xylara paused mid-strike. For the first time, she felt uncertainty. The human had not only survived her strongest attack, he had used her strength against her. "You are remarkable," she admitted aloud. "Few beings could even think to counter my attacks in this way." Alex's expression remained calm. "Strength is not everything. Courage, intelligence, and creativity are just as powerful." The final phase of the duel began. Both combatants pushed themselves to the limit. Xylara moved faster, striking with unparalleled precision, while Alex used every lesson from previous battles to survive. He was no longer merely reactive. He was predictive, understanding her patterns and planning several moves ahead. At one critical moment, Xylara launched a high-speed strike from above, combined with a telekinetic pulse designed to crush him against a floating wall. Alex timed his jump perfectly, rolling mid-air to land behind her. Instead of attacking, he nudged a floating panel into her path, forcing her to adjust and preventing her from completing the strike. The audience was in awe. No one had ever witnessed such a display of strategy and adaptation from a human. Xylara herself took a deep breath, finally acknowledging the truth she had been resisting. Humans were not weak. They were formidable in ways she had never considered. "You have changed my perspective," she admitted. "Humans are far more capable than I imagined. Your courage, your intelligence, and your adaptability, they are extraordinary." Alex stepped closer, still calm. "I do not seek to boast. I only seek to show the truth of human potential. We endure, adapt, and face challenges no matter how impossible they may seem." Xylara lowered her blade completely. The duel had ended not with defeat but with mutual respect. She had tested the human to his limits and found him not only capable of survival, but also of turning her greatest strengths into opportunities. "You have proven something today," she said quietly. "Not just to me, but to everyone watching. Humans are not to be underestimated. You are worthy of respect." Alex nodded, his breathing steady. "That is all I hope to demonstrate." The spectators erupted into cheers, both human and alien alike. The humans in the crowd felt pride and awe, seeing one of their own achieve what had seemed impossible. The aliens recognized that humans were not a primitive species. They were ingenious, resilient, and courageous. Xylara sheathed her blade and extended a hand toward Alex. "You have earned my respect. Perhaps even an alliance. The galaxy is changing and humans may play a greater role than I once imagined." Alex shook her hand firmly, a gesture of mutual respect and understanding. "I am honored, and I hope we can work together for a future where all species learn from one another." As the crowd dispersed, the story of the human and the warrior princess spread across Xylar and beyond. This duel would be remembered not for destruction or victory, but for the demonstration of human potential, intelligence, and courage. Alex had proven that even in a universe of physically superior beings, humans could endure, adapt, and thrive. Silara returned to her chambers, reflecting on the lessons she had learned. Strength alone did not define a warrior. Courage, creativity, and intelligence could turn the tide against even the most formidable opponents. And in that realization, she found something rare: hope and admiration for the human spirit. Alex, meanwhile, returned to his ship with his crew, calm and composed. He had faced the galaxy's greatest warrior, survived, and earned respect, not through brute force, but through strategy, observation, and determination. The duel had changed perceptions forever. Humans were not weak, they were exceptional. The stars stretched endlessly above Xylar as Alex's ship ascended into orbit. The galaxy was vast, filled with powerful beings and unknown challenges, but one truth had been firmly established: humans, with their courage, ingenuity, and resilience, were capable of standing tall, even against the strongest warriors in the universe. The story ended not with destruction, but with a promise. A promise that humans would be recognized as beings of remarkable potential, and in that promise a new chapter for the galaxy had begun.